Welcome to the first episode of Side by Side, where we hope to share helpful tech tips, especially for those who are visually challenged. So, Edwin, because of the pandemic, we have to practice social distancing. How's it been like for you?
Hello, everyone. In any situation like this, that is so extraordinary in that sense, when we start to talk about, having certain measures to prevent an outbreak from happening. Definitely there will be some disruptions or even challenges for any one of us. So me who can't see, there is small reason per se because people are saying that, oh, you have to have social distancing, you cannot be too close to a person, and the reality is when I'm actually out about moving around, sometimes I do need help to get from certain places, especially places that I'm not familiar with. Well, I always like to say that generally the public are helpful enough to really want to help, but because of this implementation, they tend to be more careful and reserved in terms of offering their help. Before the circuit breaker even started, and I actually move about and get some assistance, I would hear comments like, oh, is it okay if I hold you? Or, there were instances whereby they really want to help. So instead of actually guiding you by the usual method whereby you will
Hmm.
have to hold the person's elbow, they actually really distance
Hmm.
themselves apart, and then they would like give you verbal cues.
It's good to know that people are generally helpful, although, as you said, understandably, some of them will be a bit more cautious and they wouldn't know. And even during normal circumstances, there are already people like that, all the more during this period.
I just want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to the visually challenged community. If you face hurdles like this, don't get too defensive or too annoyed. Because after all, as I've said, I guess one just have to strike a balance. So if really people are a little bit afraid of helping you this time around, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's not their fault. So if somehow or rather there will be people who will genuinely don't mind to help you during this situation. So just be a bit more patient and be a bit more accommodative in that sense.
So we know the circuit breaker is coming to an end, and more of us are going to be going back to our daily activities. So the use of safe entry to help with contact tracing is really important. So Edwin, have you used safe entry before?
Okay, just to share a little bit. So what happened was when I got to know about the safe entry initiative by the government, I was a little bit skeptical, like, oh no, safe entry leh, then QR codes and whatsoever. It's not that it's not possible, it's just that sometimes you have to go through the process of, like, scanning a code which you don't exactly know where is it. So you basically have to point your camera at a certain position and sort of like be hopeful that you manage to capture the QR code. I still find that it's quite troublesome. So when I try and scan, after that they ask me to fill out the information. Then I actually have to save that thing. After that, rightfully, I have to leave the window there, and then before I go out, I have to actually go to that window again, whereby it shows you that, oh, yeah, actually checking into this place. You actually have to scan again to click the checkout button. But I remember then and then I somehow lose the focus, and I actually did not save that page. So in the end, I have to do another scan. It was quite cumbersome actually. So a few days later, and heard the news that, oh, apparently there's another initiative that will make this process so much easier for not even for people who visually challenged, but for people in general, for them to do uh, the check-ins and so on and check-outs with very very little hassle.
Hmm.
Actually, in fact, it's so convenient.
Edwin, you've got us all curious about this other faster way. Can you please tell us more about it?
Okay, the key is this app called the SingPass mobile app, an app that allows you to connect uh, seamlessly, log into the various government bodies like HDB, CPF, One Motoring and whatsoever. Yeah. So they actually added
Hmm.
this very very convenient way for you to do your safe check-ins in that sense. First of all, you have to have a SingPass. So SingPass, I guess most Singapore citizens should have a SingPass account. So you need to actually download the app, set up the app, so it will go through certain authentication. Like you need to sort of like log in using your SingPass ID, which is your IC, and then you need to create a password, and then you need to ensure that your mobile number that is filed with the government can access SMS to actually authenticate, and so on and so forth. So once you do all this, your SingPass mobile app has been set up. Then you could actually use the various services by the government, which includes the safe entry option.
Setting up SingPass mobile sounds easy enough. Have you actually tried using it when you go out?
Yep, I have. So it's very convenient, whereby you don't need to fumble with QR codes, you don't need to go and look for the scanner and whatsoever. So you actually just go into the app. At the top area of the main window, you can actually see a safe entry button. So once you tap on that, or you choose on that option, it will actually bring up a list of nearby amenities or nearby places that has actually registered with the government to have this safe entry option. Scroll through and look to the particular place that you would like to check in. Once you select that option, you will be presented with an agreement. You just agree, and voila, that's it. You are safely checked in. So the advantage is, one, you don't need to fumble with QR codes and whatsoever. Number two, you don't even need to enter any relevant details in file, because it ties with your it ties with your SingPass mobile account details. So everything, it's already being filled up for you already. Yeah. So the good thing is you don't even need to save anything. You don't even need to save your login details, your safe entry details, or whatsoever. You can just simply switch off the app, or just go away from your app and do whatever you want. And then, once you're ready to check out, you basically just go into the app, and it will actually prompt you and say, hey, you are actually now checking into ABC company. So just right after that, there is actually a checkout button. Once you select that button, you are out. That's about it. From this, we do see that we are talking about inclusivity, with with all these apps being accessible for everyone, including people who are disabled or who have some form of disability. It really does make the overall experience a lot better, and it does actually allow one to gain the rightful independence, especially during this pandemic situation, whereby everybody is still pretty anxious. We won't really know what will be the situation like. So we just want to. So I mean, the whole idea is to make the situation as painless as possible, and I'm glad to see that initiatives like this are actually being looked at, and at a pretty fast pace actually. So kudos to to everyone, and let's continue to make this society a gracious and a place that everyone can really live and be happy.
So Edwin, we know that you are visually challenged. Some of us may be wondering, how do you use a smartphone then?
In modern smartphones nowadays, especially we're talking about Apple smartphones. Basically, they have very, very advanced accessibility functionality, whereby any form of disabled person can actually utilize the different functions, to actually navigate around independently like any other person. So from a blindness perspective, there's actually an accessibility feature called VoiceOver. So what happens is, when you activate that accessibility feature, text on the screen will actually narrate out to you via synthetic speech, and you can actually use different gestures to navigate through the different screens and the different applications.
Oh yes, accessibility features does make life so much easier. And earlier on, Edwin, you were sharing with us about using safe entry on SingPass Mobile, and that really helps, not only for those who are visually challenged. In fact, I think it helps everyone. Thank you so much, Edwin, for sharing with us these tips, and we hope to chat with you again. For those of you who are viewing, if you find this useful, please do share this video. And if you have any other topics in mind, do share with us as well. We look forward to seeing you again in the next episode of Side by Side. Bye-bye.